When someone betrays you, it is a reflection of their character, not yours. Good morning, everybody. This Saturday morning. It's pretty early. It's about 8:30. And I woke up this morning and I started to go live today. But then I thought about it and I said I didn't really prepare anybody or tell anybody that I would go live. So I was afraid that no one will be watching this early. So I decided to just go ahead and do a pre-recorded video. But I wanted to talk briefly today about betrayal of trust. Nothing is harder, I think, than being betrayed by someone that you trusted. No matter who it could be a family member, a great friend, a partner, a spouse, a colleague. Betrayal of trust is one of the hardest things that you will experience. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Stay tuned. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope your Saturday is starting off okay. As I look out the window, I see a little bit of overcast. We had some pleasant last 2 days. It was around 70 degrees on yesterday. Felt like a nice spring day. And it also just let me know that spring is around the corner. I'm looking out the window. I can see trees that are starting to bud. So that lets me know that spring is around the corner. And that is always inspiring to me because it reminds me that even though tragedy and loss has happened prior to that, new birth, new opportunity, new chances is arising. So if you see that when you look out and your life has had some setbacks, had some problems, always let spring remind you that it's a new beginning. It's a new opportunity as the new year to focus on regrouping, reestablishing, reinventing, all of the re's. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about betrayal of trust because I think that is something that you never get too old to experience. And I don't think you are too smart to not experience it. So it's not about intelligence and not allowing people to betray you, because people will betray you and you absolutely can't control how other people act. And I guess who you extend your trust to is a factor, but you can't go through your life saying, I'm not trusting anyone. But when you are betrayed by someone you trust, it can be a very painful, eye-opening experience. It could be something that actually damages you in some way. And it could be hard regrouping and getting yourself together. So I wanted to talk about that because someone has betrayed my trust. But I allow myself to be raw and vulnerable here on the channel in hopes that it will help someone else who may experience that. Now, I do know that everyone has experienced this at some point in their life, that we all go through certain experiences, and everybody is not okay with allowing their lives, their personal lives, to be under scrutiny of the public by going on these platforms and exposing themselves and opening themselves up to criticism and comments that are negative at times. But in a world where there is so much pain, so much anger, and people who are cruel, that do things to hurt others, we got to have that balance of people who are willing to be able to put themselves on the line and hopefully inspire and help someone else so that they can get through something. And it's also a comfort to know that you're not alone when you go through things. So that's why I do that. So today I want to talk about that. And betrayal is when someone you trust lies to you, cheats on you, abuses you, or hurts you by putting their own self-interest first. Betrayal is a loss. It's probably the most devastating loss a person can experience. I agree with that. You know, outside of losing someone to death, we're talking about just in life. Betrayal is one of the worst things you can experience, because when you put your trust in someone, you're saying that I believe in you, and that I'm going to be okay with the things that you tell me. I'm going to invest in whatever it is, whether it's your friendship, you know, whether it is a business agreement where you go into business with a friend or colleague. It could be your spouse or a significant partner, because you start to invest your time, your energy into that relationship, and you confer back and forth with personal things. You expose yourself, you allow yourself to be vulnerable with that person in hopes that you guys are on the same path. And I've experienced that once with a friend, with a girlfriend, and I often have described that feeling as a death. Having coffee this morning, let me take a sip, guys. This particular girlfriend I had in my life, at that particular time, we had been friends for about 32 to 33 years. And we had that type of friendship where we got together, our spouses, when I was married, my husband and her husband, we all would do couple trips and dinners at each other's homes, and we traveled around to different cities. And at the time I was in the hotel industry, so I could get these amazing discounts at the hotel. So me and her would take girlfriend trips and birthday trips and all of that. And when I was betrayed by her, at a time of my life when I was going through some tremendous personal situations, my mother had fallen ill, and I needed my friend. I needed her. And she betrayed me and cut me out of her life. At that particular time, I was devastated, and it felt like a death. So I know that that experience can be devastating depending on the relationship that it is, especially if it's like your husband or your wife or a child, you know, one of your siblings, or even a partner in business, because you got to sort out all of the logistics with, dividing the business and all of that, and maybe loss of finances. So it can be devastating. But here is how I deal with betrayal, because I have experienced it in my life, and it's a possibility that I might experience it again on down the road. You may as well. But I think as you mature and you learn how to deal with difficulties in life, and you learn how to deal with the tragedies of life and pain of life, you learn a little bit about how to keep your head up. Because I think the most important thing is to look at what your thoughts were, and what your value was on the relationship, and what your intentions were when you went into that relationship. And if you know that your intentions were great, if you know that you had all good intentions and everything that you was doing was on the level and with the love and respect for that person, being betrayed is not a failure on your side. It just actually is an escape for you to be able to get away from it. So you could go years in relationships with people and not realize that they're in the background doing things, being manipulative and hurting you, or planning to hurt you, and you not be aware of it. But I think one of the things as women that we take on is the whys. Is, why did this happen to me? Why did they do this to me? Am I not good enough? Is this, that, and the other, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. We start taking the blame onto ourselves instead of looking at the fact that it is not your problem. It's the other person's problem, that they weren't able to be loyal or trustworthy, honorable. You have to look at the fact that people have issues in life, And sometimes they're not able to handle having good people around them when all you know is pain and tragedy and loss and dysfunction. You know, that is a part of society. And sometimes good people attach to people that way and can be taken advantage of. So one of the things I want you as women to do, because you know, one of the things we used to do is we look at, especially in relationships, and this is kind of different from what I'm talking about, is when you are, well, not really. If you're in a relationship with somebody and that person cheats on you and the relationship ends, oftentimes women start thinking they're not good enough, they're not pretty enough. I always tell people, look at celebrities who we esteem, who we put on pedestals, who we think are bigger than life, or who are rich and famous, and you wonder why they get cheated on. How could you cheat on this person? I recently watched Janet Jackson documentary, and in her documentary she talked about how all the men in her life were drug users, and she wanted to know what was it about her personality that attracted these men who were addicted to substances, or they had some type of an addiction. And that she never really could say she had a great relationship, even though she loved with all of her heart. And that is something that would make you kind of, you know, look at yourself and say, dang, is it me? Is it something wrong with me? The reason why I always attract these type of people? Well, sometimes it can be because if you have that spirit of wanting to help people, and you're kind and you're giving and you're the type of person who will help somebody and you want to love them to wholeness. I used to be that way. People will migrate towards you. They see you. But in saying all of that to say is, who would cheat on Janet Jackson, right? She's rich, she's beautiful, she's famous. But that goes to show that betrayal can happen to anybody. So as an average person in society, we got to stop looking at ourselves as if we're not good enough when other people mess up, when other people do horrible things. It's not for you to carry that weight. You need to remind yourself that you had great intentions and that you were good in going into that relationship, no matter what type it was, and that you were hoping that this would be something that would be lucrative, or this friendship would grow, or this relationship would get, you know, better and better as time went on, and that you are not responsible for the behaviors of other people who are damaged. And be thankful if you were able to get out of it with your dignity. Be thankful that you have an opportunity to start over, just like these buds on the trees. They're going to be blooming. It's going to be green. It's going to be flowers in just a little while. Never stop wanting to be a good person. Never stop wanting to love. Never stop wanting to give just because someone else didn't appreciate it. So that is the way I'm choosing to look at this betrayal. And I'm moving forward. So that's the video for today. I want to thank you all for tuning in this morning. I want to thank you for all of the new subscribers that I've seen over the last, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks. It's been like a landslide. You know, even though the viewership is still slowly, you know, growing, but I see the subscribers. I'm trying to get my subscribers more interested in the videos. I did see on my analytics, I've been learning the whole back office of YouTube, that I have about 70% of people who view my videos are non-subscribers, guys. 30% of you guys are subscribers. I want to engage my subscribers also. So I want to come up with content that will not only be directed to women that are navigating a certain age of life, but for all women, because we truly have inspiration and motivation for these young ladies that are coming up behind us, and we want to encourage them as well. So thank you for watching. And I hope to see you real soon in another video. Have a wonderful Saturday, a great weekend, and I'll see you real soon. Peace and love.